Our KTSM 9 News' Kelly Horrison is out in Ruidoso today. She's speaking with the owners of Jack's Backstage. Hey Kelly, how's it going out there?
Hi Paulina, yeah, those rainy, gloomy conditions you mentioned cannot kill the vibes here at Jack's Backstage. They have a little bit of everything you could possibly need all in one. Food, drinks, entertainment, and more. Ahead of our small town spotlight tonight, we are going to give you an inside sneak peek at what a place like this has to offer. And there's no better person to talk about Jack's than owner Scott Stevens. Scott, thank you so much for joining me here today. Like I just told the viewers, you have a little bit of everything here. Just talk to me about what you guys have to offer.
We do. We're a live entertainment venue that we specialize in every kind of music and comedy, from norteña, cumbia, country, rock. Most recently we had Stony LaRue, and previously we had Everclear. So we're kind of all over the place. And we've got a full liquor license, food court, where we've got a whole montage of.
And this is one of them right here, right? You have a little bit of food, coffee. I believe adult beverages are going to be in the other building, but this is just one of the few options you guys have to offer for visitors. That's correct?
Correct.
And you guys, my understanding, due to your model, as we look at these rainy conditions here today, it kind of brings back the floods and fires of last year. But to my understanding, you guys never really shut down. You stayed open the entire time due to your model and serving the community.
Correct, correct.
And what did you guys do during that time?
We fed the firefighters, the utility contractors from P&M to your fiber, your gas companies. We'd open earlier than normal up the road at Anaheim Jack's to provide breakfast all the way through dinner. And we did that for the duration of the fires and floods.
Yeah, that's very awesome of you guys. I mean, everybody seemed to struggle, but everyone's open and well and welcoming visitors, especially ahead of this 4th of July weekend. Here is a sneak peek of one of the areas they have right here. Great for entertainment. Again, we'll tell you more about it coming up tonight at 6 o'clock during our small town spotlight. For now, Paulina, back to you.
Now joining us live from Ruidoso to give us a little quick look at what is about to happen for our small town spotlight, our own Kelly Horrison. Kelly, how are you doing? You've got your rain gear on. I see you have your hat there. How's the weather?
Yeah, Robert, I was fully prepared to see kind of gloomy and rainy conditions. Knock on wood. We're doing okay. So far, so good. But when you think of those rainy conditions, you do think specifically Ruidoso and the floods and fires that they saw last year. Now, we are currently at Jack's Backstage, and I am joined by owner Scott Stevens. And something that did come of those floods last year was the hashtag Still Ruidoso. As an owner here in town, what do you hope the community takes from a slogan like that?
We created that to just let everybody know that Ruidoso, we were dealt a little bit of a blow with the fires and the floods, but as the businesses here, we never closed. We stayed open. The majority of the businesses, it was a very minimal closure, and we rely heavily on the tourism industry, and we've got to get people back up here on the hill. We get rains, we get floods. They're very sporadic, they're very short-lived, and they're only in low-lying areas. It's not that bad. Right,
that's right. I mean, you mentioned tourism and the need to continue to bring in more people here to Ruidoso. No better opportunity than coming up this weekend, the 4th of July. Also, we did just notice there is a wiener dog gate for hot dog races, but for the dogs. Again, just another way to bring in people here to Ruidoso. Just talk to me about what's coming up, not only this 4th of July weekend, but in the future to, again, bring in that revenue.
Well, 4th of July in Ruidoso, you've got the Inn of the Mountain Gods with a huge firework display. And the weekend after that, the 12th and 13th, I believe, is the premier weenie dog race. We've got a $5,000 first place purse, and if you've not seen weenie dogs race, you're missing out. It is a huge deal.
It's the real deal too, because you mentioned that people are coming as far as Kansas.
Last year we had folks coming from Kansas. This year we've already got people signed up from Denver. It's a 2-day event and a lot of money on the line. It's going to be a good deal.
There's definitely no shortage of activities to do here in Ruidoso. We also have Ruidoso Downs, the horse races as well. Specifically here, you can tell this place is massive. You have entertainment, food, drinks, country singers, pop singers, rock singers, a little bit of everything. So definitely a place you want to come out and visit if you're around this weekend. But that'll do it for us for now. We'll see you later on with more from Ruidoso at 6 o'clock. Paulina.
Right now, our small town spotlight today is up in Ruidoso, where the flood warning they were under just ended, but we're watchful for storms. Live there now is Kelly Horrison. Kelly, what's going on in Ruidoso?
Robert, as of right now, we are not seeing any rainy or wet conditions. However, I'm not sure how long that's going to hold off for, because if we look behind us here, we have heavy, darker clouds, a strip of blue, clouds again, and then clear skies once more. So it's really looking 50-50 at this point in time, but a monsoon coming to an area like Ruidoso could be problematic. We talked about it last week and we talked about it this week as well because of those burn scars due to those fires last year. And that's because the soil in that area can't absorb the normal amount they do because of those fires once again last year. For reference, soil typically can absorb 1 inch to 3 inches of water, but again, because of those burn scars in Ruidoso, it can absorb on the lower end 1 inch or sometimes not at all. So the monsoons and those flood conditions and flood warnings, we will definitely keep an eye on here. And if anything changes, we will bring you those updates here from Small Town Spotlight. For now, I'll send things back to you guys in the studio.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Well, we're getting ready for our 6 p.m. Small Town Spotlight series, and you know, we're coming to you live from Jack's Backstage. It is such a cool place to be, but we're also talking about Ruidoso Downs.
That's right, Ruidoso Downs, if you remember last year, very heavily impacted by, of course, the wildfires and then the subsequent flooding that we saw over there at Ruidoso Downs. And actually Diana Castillo was able to come here just a couple weeks ago to kind of see what it took to get the track back up and running, and also preventing a similar situation from ever happening again.
That's right.
Back to familiar sounds in Ruidoso Downs. After a year without racing, the gates are now open and the crowds are back.
The horse races, all the different excitement. The kids, as kids, we grew up coming up here and watching the horses, and before they had all these little stands. So it's a blast.
But before any of that could happen, it was a race against time to get the track ready for the season. Last year, the venue was closed after flood damage caused by the South Fork wildfire.
16.8 million in damage at this property, plus another 10 million in loss of revenues.
Crews spent months making critical repairs. They rebuilt damaged bridges, replaced culverts, and redesigned sections of the infield to better handle water flow. New drainage systems were also added, so if heavy rain hits again, the track can stay safe and operational.
Fortunately, over the last year, with a lot of planning, a lot of work with the state, the legislators, help that we received from this area, FEMA, and of course Homeland Security, we've been able to make an unbelievable recovery to this point. A lot of hard work, dedication, working around the clock, 7 days a week to get back to where our GRT, which is our revenue stream. And one thing about Ruidoso in this area, we make our money off tourism.
So after everything it took to get here, for many longtime visitors, the wait was worth it.
I just enjoy the atmosphere. I'm glad to see the track in good condition, and just glad to be back here and able to watch horses run.
Diana Castillo, KTSM News.
And joining us now is Rick Baugh, the general manager of Ruidoso Downs. Rick, thank you so much for being here with us for this edition of Small Town Spotlight.
Welcome.
And you know what, Rick, you were talking about, we just saw all the amazing things that you guys had to fix to get Ruidoso Downs up and running, but there's still one thing that's broken, and that is people's perception of what Ruidoso looks like.
No, thank you for bringing that up. You know, the mountains are the mountains, and they're still just as beautiful as they ever were. Do we receive rain showers up here? Of course we do. Do the streets sometimes flood, as Donovan does? Of course it does. So, I mean, that's one of the things that wait 15 minutes, go back doing your business, but come up, come see us.
To be able to get back to where you were 2 years ago after last year, just how much hard work did that take in getting everyone on the same page to now be able to have a full race season this year?
You know, from the governor to the mayor to the county commissioners, I mean, it's been a full effort, a team effort from all the county commissioners and the mayor and staff here. You know, I can't thank everyone enough, because you're dealing with Homeland Security, NRCS, FEMA. I mean, it has just been, I hope I never have to go through it again. I mean, it's been miserable. It really has.
And you know, you guys have so many activities up and running already, horse racing. Talk a little bit about that.
Last weekend, for example, we ran a little over 400 head of horses. We had the second leg Triple Crown trials for the Rainbow, and we did that in 3 days. We had Flatland Cavalry here in concert. It was sold out. We've got Ray Wiley Hubbard coming this weekend. It's just been great, and you guys been around. It's been cold up here today versus, what was it, 98 in El Paso.
Exactly,
Not knocking El Paso, I live there, but you know, just coming up here is a little different.
Certainly looking forward to the Rainbow Futurities coming up next. That's in a couple weeks. And then you have your big signature event, the All-American Futurity, coming up to the third leg of the Triple Crown.
We have our horse sale and our All-American Futurity. The All-American Futurity will actually run on Labor Day, and the Derby will run on Sunday. So that's a $3 million for the All-American Futurity. So we're looking forward to it.
Us too.
Well, thank you so much, Rick. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
That's right. Make sure you're tuning in at 6 p.m. for this edition of Small Town Spotlights.
We'll be right back.
Season 3 of Small Town Spotlight, sponsored by Labonati Law.
Welcome everyone to this special edition of KTSM 9 News at 6 Small Town Spotlight Series. Today we are coming to you live from Jack's backstage as we will be highlighting Ruidoso, New Mexico, and all the wonderful things it has to offer. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Monica Cortez.
And I'm Andy Morgan. Monica, you know how much I love Ruidoso. I know how much El Paso families and Las Cruces families alike like to come up here and enjoy themselves. A lot cooler temperatures up here. I know it has been a really difficult year for the village, but certainly back up and running again after the wildfires and subsequent flooding that we saw in 2024.
Absolutely. So I don't know how our GPS got us here, but we went through these winding roads, and it was such a blessing in disguise, Andy, because we got to see all the beautiful cabins, all the scenic views. There is nothing that looks like it's being rebuilt or anything. It is great. It is beautiful. It's back.
Yeah, and if you can remember, we did a Small Town Spotlight last year in Ruidoso up at Inn of the Mountain Gods. We also did a special after that flooding and the wildfires, rebuilding Ruidoso, came up here for that. And I think the big message that everyone was trying to get across is Ruidoso never went anywhere. It's still Ruidoso.
It is, and that is why the hashtag still Ruidoso. Check it out.
There's Twisted Art. My name's Kimo with Z Smoke Shop and Dispensary.
Hi, we're Honeyhole, and we are still Ruidoso.
We started that campaign to attempt to offset some of the negative publicity that Ruidoso got after the fires. And when I say negative publicity, it's just the constant sharing of videos of the devastation that we went through last June, the fires, and of course then the floods. It's human nature to share the negative and the bad, and not so much share the positive and the good. And we were just trying to show that the majority of businesses that most people go to in Midtown, all those businesses are still operating as normal. But the vast majority of people on social media, you know, that thought that Ruidoso was wiped clean, either from the fires or the floods. And we get it still on a weekly basis that people say, you know, we're surprised Ruidoso rebuilt so quickly, or, you know, it's not as bad as we thought. You know, we're not playing it down by any means, because it was terrible. I mean, people lost their lives, and a lot of people lost homes. You know, Ruidoso doesn't have an industry other than tourism. There's no big corporations here. Everything is mom and pop, and mostly people that live here. You know, we made a little post on Facebook and a couple other social media outlets. We got a little over 70 small business owners involved in making those videos.
Quilting situation.
Joseph Ontiveros. I own J.O. Quality Services.
Sandra Reynolds, Benita Stable.
Tourism is coming back, and it's not because of our campaign. It's a collective effort by everybody. Nobody's quit, so we don't want people to quit coming to see us.
Bryn, the Ruidoso Woodsman.
Nomad Canico. Fusion Technical Spa. Still Ruidoso.
And joining us now is Scott Stevens, the owner here of Jack's Backstage. Thank you so much for having us. This hospitality, we're enjoying ourselves.
Thank you all for coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, we loved the message that you guys just portrayed. Still Ruidoso. How successful has it been, and do you feel that people are still kind of maybe doubting that this place is fully rebuilt? What would you say to that?
You know, that campaign was pretty successful. We got it out there really well. But as far as people, they're still gun shy to come up to Ruidoso. You know, we've got more people working. The village is working. They've made their own campaigns. A lot of other local businesses are speaking out about, you know, Ruidoso is still fully operational. You know, everybody needs to get up here and see that we're still just the same as we always have been.
Yeah, certainly Southern's still bustling with activity and tourism. I know summer always your guys' busy part of the year, but I wanted to touch on something that you had mentioned in that story that we just saw, and that was not only you guys, but also other local business owners kind of collaborating and getting that message across. What has that been like, kind of working with other local businesses to make sure that that message is heard loud and clear?
Yeah, it's been amazing. You know, we've got a lot of good businesses here. The majority of the businesses in Ruidoso are mom and pop stores.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have the big corporations here. This is all homegrown, you know,
which is what people love.
People. It is. It's that being said, a lot of those people don't know how to advertise, and they're not used to advertising for themselves, because everyone relies on the steady tourist stream that you come to expect in Ruidoso. So when that's taken from you, you have to do it on your own. Some people are left wondering what to do. That's why we put it together to kind of assist in some targeted marketing through social media, and, you know, just help tell people and push some other people along to, you know, let's turn it around.
Yeah.
I love that. And, you know, my last question to you is, all right, 4th of July is pretty much here. Do you guys have any plans for the weekend?
4th of July in Ruidoso is all about the End of the Mountain Gods. Do an amazing firework display. But the following weekend, we've got a hell of a weenie dog race.
Okay.
So there's a $5,000 purse on the line. Last year was our first one. We had folks come from Kansas City to race their wiener dogs. This year we've had somebody already sign up out of Denver. It's a neat deal. That's a fairly substantial purse for a dog.
Yeah, no kidding. Sounds like a must watch to me.
It'll be fun. That's 2 weeks away, and we're still registering dogs. And,
yeah. Scott, thank you so much.
There you go. Register your wiener dog. That's amazing.
We appreciate you guys being up here and hosting us. Absolutely. And so we have so much to get to here on this edition of Small Town Spotlight, but we do want to get to our news of the day.
That's right. Let's go ahead and send it over to Christina Rada, who is standing by in the studio. Christina.
Thank you so much, guys. And remember that hashtag still Ruidoso. The federal government is looking to expand the border barrier behind Mount Cristo Rey. U.S. Customs and Border Protection is proposing more than a mile of 30-foot steel fencing along the south side of the mountain. Now, the Mount Cristo Rey Restoration Committee, the group in charge of caring for the site, says they were not informed in advance, but that the site has faced ongoing issues with trespassing, trash, and safety, adding that the barrier may help address those issues. Public comment is open through July 3rd, and we've posted a link to submit feedback on KTSM.com, so you can look for that. El Paso County is pivoting plans on how to improve Ascarate Lake's water. They're looking at issues such as water loss, sediment buildup, and algae, which have in the past killed the lake's fish and threatened the quality of the water. In 2023, the county approved $6 million for lake improvements, which the county envisioned would be used to either dredge or drain the lake, aimed at removing excess sediment from the water. But County Commissioner David Stout says a study by a third party and by UTEP researchers concluded the lake dredging would not likely prevent algae from growing back. It could also disrupt aquatic life or even damage water quality.
There's just a lot of options, right? And so we want to just make sure that, again, that the public knows what we're thinking, and that we're changing directions and just trying to do the best by them. I'm really excited about the future of the park. We definitely want to make sure that you know, it's usable, right? That people want to go there, that we have the option for people to fish there, that we have the option for people to get on canoes and kayaks or the paddle boats.
Well, the county is currently holding a community meeting at the Ascarate Pavilion. Our KTSM 9 News reporter Jesus Baltazar will be there and will bring you a full report and updates tonight at 10. Let's go straight now to meteorologist Robert Bettis with a first look at our forecast.
Hi, Christina. KTSM is extending the Weather Authority alert due to the potential for heavy rainfall through the night tonight and through our Thursday as well. 83 at the airport right now. The dew point a very high 61. It's getting better for the west side, but flooding in the area and still some active flood warnings. It's going to be a long night, potentially with more thunder showers coming later on in the evening tonight. And if not tonight, we could see a repeat performance tomorrow. Right now we have a flood advisory on the east side of El Paso County, but most of the heavier action right here, right along 375 toward Cañetillo. Rain rates were coming down at about 2 inches per hour at there, and also a flood warning right here in the Coronado Hills down toward the Mission Hills. We'll watch this closely, but at this point, the heavier rainfall all subsiding. Now, we've got more action out over Hudspeth County, so as long as there are storms active tonight, any one of these storms could produce brief, locally heavy rainfall, which could unlock quite a bit of rain quickly, as we saw earlier today. Right up here in Ruidoso, where our small town spotlight is, not looking too bad at all. We've got partly cloudy skies up there. Here's a quick look. Tomorrow, 90, just enough sun to get the thunder showers going. Threat of heavy rainfall on our Thursday, but then we dry out for the weekend ahead. 98 for the 4th of July, 104 by Saturday. Up there in Ruidoso, live right now for our small town spotlight is Kelly Horrison, who is obviously about ready to do something sports related and win.
That is true. Robert, you were talking about those wet, rainy conditions. We're not necessarily seeing that precipitation here in Ruidoso, but I'm feeling like Katy Perry's song, Hot and Cold. It's humid, it's cold, it's breezy. So I decided to come in here and check out the arcade. And actually, being a sports reporter, I picked up the basketballs to shoot some hoops. And I don't think I've shot this well ever. I might have to reach out to New Mexico State's Jason Hooten and Joel Golding to inquire about a walk-on opportunity. Anyways, there's much more here than just basketball. There are plenty of games here for any age variation, for adults, for kids, and that's what's so great about this place. You can go upstairs if you're an adult, go get a adult beverage, as well as check out the entertainment. They have stages, while your kids can come down over here and entertain themselves. So this really is a place, one shoe fits all. Everybody can have something to entertain themselves. But I don't know about anyone else. I'm really excited about the new F1 movie. So I'm about to rip some donuts, and I'll check in with you guys later. But for now, Andy, Monica, back to you.
Kelly, is there something you cannot do? I feel like she's so good at everything.
Good looking shot. The arc is perfect.
I know. I think she's showing off a little bit.
Probably. She did pretty well though.
You know, we kind of want to talk a little bit about something else that is so incredible here in Ruidoso, and that is a group called America's Heroes. Now, they do have a mission, and that is to provide no-cost education and resources to help support mental wellness and mental health in their hero community.
That's right, and they offer a variety of different programs, services that go towards supporting mental health. Everything from counseling, support groups, and even some educational workshops.
Healing America's Heroes was established March 14th, 2014, and that was the day that we got our 501 nonprofit status. The reason that Healing America's Heroes was started is, and any veteran and first responder understands, it was a 22 a day, okay, because we lose 22 veterans a day to suicide because we served our country. And that's why we have created this as a recreational therapy. When we talk about post-traumatic stress, it takes away our senses. We have the 5 senses, right? So when we get you on this horse, we're gonna ask you to close your eyes, extend your hands out, and once you close your eyes, what happens? Your other senses kick in. Automatically, you'll tighten your legs, and you'll go for your balance. When people are leaving, I always think, okay, think about when you were on Lady Grey or Cowboy, okay, and you had your eyes closed, your arms extended, you were balancing your life, okay? Think about that when you address your PTSD issues. When you sign up for the fly fishing class, the first thing you're issued is a fly tying kit and a fly rod. We talk about concentration, like casting that rod or concentrating on tying that fly. The instructor will show you or teach each of the individuals on how to tie their own flies, how to put their fly rods together the proper way, how to string it together, how to tie the fly on, and then he goes out and catches a fish for it. Having veterans here, having first responders here, being able to help the first responders, that was a blessing to us.
They do as much for me as we do for them. To see them, to be able to engage, to release some of the problems that they're having, and to be able to talk and just relate to life, it has led me to a place in my life that is just unbelievable. So we not only help them, they help us. We lean on each other. We are a family. Veterans are a family, and we need the support of family.
And that was Healing America's Heroes. What an incredible thing that they're doing here.
Yeah, certainly a great mission, and obviously something that was really important to highlight on this edition of Small Town Spotlight, which of course continues. Robert's coming up next. I know some active weather in the El Paso area. We've actually stayed dry here in Ruidoso. We missed it.
I feel like the rain is just avoiding us altogether.
Yeah. But
we leave El Paso, it rains.
You might be coming up here to Ruidoso for 4th of July celebrations. What does that forecast look like? Robert's coming up next.
We'll be right back.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderlands' only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Here it is, a live image on Doniphan at Red Road. Perfect example of the ponding that happened from the heavy rainfall that hit the west side in general, especially up around Cañetillo and the outlet shops at El Paso right along 375. This is a live view. Man, it doesn't get any more beautiful looking than that. The clouds are gorgeous. It's pretty quiet at this point. Most of the heavier thunder showers have subsided, but we're going to continue with our weather authority alert through the night tonight and through tomorrow as well. So even if we're done in the night, we could face a very similar scenario with thunder showers producing very intense heavy rainfall and causing localized flooding tomorrow. We just want you safe. Officially in the rain gauge, we received 0.04 yesterday. That takes our official total to 1.39 inches, way below normal. 2.4 is normal this time of year. Here are the high temperatures today. I predicted 87. We're at 88. 88 Juarez, 88 Las Cruces, 90 for Deming, and 88 Alamogordo today. Right now it's 83 degrees at the International Airport. Winds 16 miles per hour, gusting to 21 in that dew point, a juicy 61 degrees. Satellite radar composite. Now, the thunder showers that rolled over the west side stabilized the west side a little bit, but still a lot of action south of the border right now. And of course, I've been very concerned about that additional surge of high-level, mid-level moisture, which is going to sit like a plume over the borderland tonight and tomorrow as well. Now, could we tamper everything down and be done for the night? It's certainly possible, but we want everybody ready in case a cluster of storms crops up in the night tonight and does this. We have flood warnings right over Coronado Hills. We've got a flood warning over the Cañontillo area right now that lasts until 8:30 tonight, so be careful. If there's water on the roadways, slow down. Here's a look out toward the west, or rather the eastern part of El Paso County, where the flood advisory in East Montana has subsided. Still active storms over Hudspeth and Las Cruces. You've had a lot of flirting from the showers, but nothing major tonight. So we'll keep our guard up, so to speak. Now, we're going to dry out significantly as we cruise in toward the 4th of July. And tonight, occasionally, we'll have wind gusts with area storms that are breaking apart. Here comes your exclusive 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. High temperature 90 degrees, just enough sun to give us another round of thunder showers with the potential for very heavy rainfall. 11 on your allergy forecast tomorrow, and 9s for Friday and Saturday. Low temperatures tonight 65 Alamogordo, 67 Deming, and 69 for Juarez. High temperatures tomorrow going up to 86 Alamogordo, 91 Deming, 90 for Juarez, and 85 for Van Horn. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, still a chance of thunder showers later on tonight with the threat of heavy rainfall, and if nothing materializes tonight, you'll get that chance again tomorrow. 89 the high temperature tonight, 69 low at the International Airport. We've already have wave 1 of thunder showers. We'll watch closely to see how those storms south of the border act in the next few hours. 90 high temperature for tomorrow with another round of thunder showers. Now, only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Friday, the 4th of July, we might see a little distant lightning, but all the moisture levels drop as we heat up. 98, 104 on Saturday, 102 Sunday. The triple digits continue all the way through Thursday before we drop down to 99 next Friday. Don't go anywhere. More KTSM 9 News coming up.
Mescalero members and visitors to the 460,000 acre reservation here in Ruidoso will have something to celebrate this weekend in a coming of age ceremony. We got the chance to sit down with one young lady getting ready to be welcomed into womanhood. Take a listen.
I always dreamed about it when I was little, like seeing everything, but I never thought I'd have my feast during the 4th.
Tomia Trujillo is celebrating her coming-of-age ceremony on July the 4th, a rite of passage for every young girl, a 12-day ceremony that serves as a girl's initiation into womanhood in the Mescalero community.
Ooh, I'm excited because my people are going to be there for me, watching me go through my womanhood.
The entire community participates in one way or another, preparing for it as much as a year in advance. And Tamia's mom says it takes a lot to plan this big celebration.
We're already excited. Usually, you plan out for these things like 4 years in advance.
The 12 days start with the raising and blessing of the large teepee. The girl who is being celebrated blesses the community with a dusting of pollen.
Usually I bless people with it because I'm giving them good. I'm blessing them to get better, because if somebody's sick, they come to me and I bless them to become better.
The last 4 days are crucial, a test of physical endurance for the young girl who runs each day to display her strength, then dances at night. The whole time, she's a subject of constant attention from her family and the tribe.
And then the last day, it's gonna go more farther, and that means that you're ready to leave home, you're ready to embrace the world. The last day, you run around the flower basket, and then you grab the feather, and then you run off until how long you can go, because you gotta keep running, you gotta keep going.
Before the ceremony is over, the young girl, who has been running greater and greater distances on each of the last 4 days, faces one more vigorous run. Exhausted from the night-long marathon of dancing inside the teepee, this is the final test of her resilience and strength.
The last day is when she will actually get prepared for the night, and because she has to dance all night. If the further she runs, it's better. It shows that she has the endurance to go past what we expect of her. So if she can do it, then we're happy.
Although the ceremony is over for spectators, the new woman continues to wear her buckskin and avoid water for at least 4 more days, proving her worthiness of the privilege of womanhood.
Today we're also taking a closer look into the life of Wendell Chino, who led his people with determination for over 40 years. Here's more on his legacy and what he did for New Mexico's Mescalero Apaches.
Tribal chair and president of the Mescalero Apache tribe in southern New Mexico for more than 40 years.
Was in office before the tribe really organized its formal government as we know it today. So that started in the early 50s. And one of the first offices that he held was as a member of what was then called the Business Committee of the tribe.
Chino was a visionary and a businessman. He led development of the Inn of the Mountain Gods and the Ski Apache Winter Resort.
His dream was that the tribe would have a first-class resort, a 5-star facility that would serve the religious and or I should say the spiritual needs and the recreational needs and the educational needs of all people, not just our people here in Mescalero, not just our tribal members.
Mark says his dad advocated economic development. In fact, he says Chino challenged state and federal policies, most notably those of the U.S. Department of the Interior and its Indian Affairs.
The vision was for a better life, a better way of life for our Mescalero Apache people. And so there was 2 prongs to his planning, I guess you could call it, the dream and the vision.
During Chino's tenure, the Mescalero Apache tribe not only built the Inn of the Mountain Gods, but schools, a hospital, a health center, all to help his tribe.
He had all of the values that I think that it took in order to be successful in the larger world, because he had a very strong sense of morality and a strong sense of what's right and what's wrong. And he brought that into office for our people. If he saw that our people were being mistreated in some way, or they weren't being granted the same rights as other individuals, then he wasn't afraid to fight. And if he knew he was right, there was no stopping him.
Fast forward to today, and now the Inn of Mountain Gods are getting ready to celebrate 50 years later, thanks to Mr. Pioneer himself, Wendell Chino. To talk about how the Inn of Mountain Gods are planning to celebrate this weekend is Chief Operating Officer Frizzell Jr. to talk about this upcoming weekend.
2025 has really been a landmark year that we've been focusing on for a long time, because the original Inn of Mountain Gods opened in actually on July 4th, 1975. Just to be in business for 50 years is amazing, and how much we've grown since then, and how many jobs we've provided, how much money this business has given back to the community is really something that should be celebrated. So our Wendell's is our fine dining. It's our signature restaurant that we have here, and we've really upgraded the menu. We've done a little bit of renovations here. We're housing over 500 different labels of wine at the moment, and by the end of the year we're going to have over 2,000 different labels of wine that we have here, and we have the menu that's going to complement that as well. It's one of the biggest fireworks shows in the country, and definitely one of the biggest in the Southwest, and by far the biggest in the state of New Mexico. You have the mountains that are surrounding you, over the reflection over the lake. It's like nothing you've ever seen. The intensity that you feel inside your body and your chest whenever the fireworks go off here is like nothing anybody's ever experienced. You know, this year we're also doing a 50th anniversary drone show on Sunday. So we can't miss that out. So we have a long weekend of events going out. We have over 500 drones that will be flying over the lake and in a large presentation. So if fireworks isn't your thing, a drone show can be too as well.
Well, don't go anywhere. We have lots more coming from Small Town Spotlight here in Ruidoso coming up just after the break.
Welcome back to KTSM 9 News at 6 Small Town Spotlight. Tonight we are up in Ruidoso, New Mexico, and right now we're focusing on Ruidoso Downs. Of course, the racetrack last year after the wildfires that broke out, as well as the subsequent flooding that truly impacted Ruidoso Downs there. They were left silent last year, but racing back up and running again this year.
That's right. Our very own Diana Castillo, she got a chance to speak to small businesses there, to the people that actually went out to Ruidoso Downs over the weekend, and she files this report.
The races, the cheering, and the betting. It's all back in Ruidoso Downs after being forced to close last season due to flood damage that followed the South Fork wildfire. Now the track is open, and just like the horses, the fans are back in stride.
I missed it, enjoyed it. I've been here 3 times since it opened already, so something I like to do, and of course I love Ruidoso.
We sure hated that we didn't get to come to the track. That's one of the things that we enjoy here, but besides the weather is coming to the track during the summer.
Local shops, restaurants, and even hotels, they rely on the crowds that race season brings in. For a lot of them, it's not just a boost, it's what keeps the doors open. Inside the racetrack, small businesses like the Finish Line gift shop are seeing a much-needed return of customers.
With all the fires and floods and everything, it seemed like the media made it sound like we burned down and tourists weren't welcome, and so it's quite devastating for all of us. We are very dependent on the racetrack as well. We bring in thousands, hundreds of thousands of tourists, I'm sure, every year. And it's been a long-standing tradition since 1959.
But the economic impact doesn't stop at the gates. Just minutes away in the village of Ruidoso, local officials say race season fuels tourism for the entire region.
One thing about Ruidoso in this area, we make our money off tourism. So this is our industry. We don't have oil, we don't have gas, we don't have a lot of those things. It's tourism. So we're glad that the track is open. It gives people something really high quality to do. You get to see the fastest, the best athletes that you can imagine as far as horseflesh. So we're glad that everybody's here.
So after a year full of setbacks, the community isn't just back on track. Now it's galloping forward. Diana Castillo, KTSM 9 News.
You know, I feel like the main theme of this show today in Ruidoso is that it really is open to the public, and people need to come out and really support local. This has been such a beautiful getaway for so many families for so many years, so come on out, check it out. It's in full swing.
Kind of like at the top of the show, the hashtag still Ruidoso. It's still Ruidoso. It's still Ruidoso Downs. They're still racing for a triple crown this year. They just had the Ruidoso Futurity, the Rainbow Futurity. They just had trials for that, and so a couple weeks from now they'll run that race. And of course the big one is the All-American Futurity. Quarter horse racing at its finest. It belongs in Ruidoso. Glad that it's back this summer because it was sorely missed last year.
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of exciting things happening, and I guess my favorite part here in Ruidoso is I get to wear my sweater jacket.
I know. And the boots. The boots, you got to have the boots on too. Absolutely getting our full mountain life in here in Ruidoso.
Yes. Don't go anywhere, guys. We still have a lot to share with you right after this break.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderlands' only certified broadcast meteorologist.
I was concerned about our anchors heading up to Ruidoso with a flood watch in effect up there. Now, they did have a flood warning earlier in the afternoon, but look at that. That's perfection achieved in Ruidoso right now. Ironic, as they take off, we get clobbered on the west side with thunder showers and flooding. Now that has subsided at this point, still ponded water everywhere, so drive carefully. 88 our official high temperature today. I predicted 87. 97 is normal, and the record 108 set back in 1989. Here are the highs in your area. 78 Van Horn, 61 Cloudcroft, 68 Ruidoso, and a lot of 88s right down through the heart of the borderland. Right now at the airport, 83 degrees with cloudy skies. That dew point a juicy 61 right now. I want to keep the chance of more thunder showers in for a while tonight. I want to see everything die down, and that's not what's going on. We still have action down here in Mexico, in the Boot Heel of New Mexico, up in the mountains of the Gila Wilderness, and still some spotty showers in the area. Now, the major flooding event is pretty much done at this point, but this is why I've been concerned. Because the level of precipitable water or amount of moisture that could make heavy rainfall possible is with us through the night tonight and with us tomorrow. So if you didn't get thunder showers tonight, watch out, because we'll get a chance again tomorrow. We still have flood warnings in effect until 8:30 tonight due to the ponded water and flooded arroyos and some streets in the Coronado Hills out around Cañetillo. Along Donovan, drive carefully. Here's a look at Hudspeth County right now. Very active storms, of course. When these storms break apart, here come the winds. So expect sporadic winds through the night tonight as area thunder showers break down. Across Doña Ana County, we've got one isolated cell north and west of Las Cruces, but it's been pretty quiet. I'm not going to drop the shields, so to speak, for tonight just yet. We'll give it a little while. Here's your 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. An almost identical meteorological profile as today. All the additional moisture is there. We'll get some midday sun, get us up to about 90 degrees, very high humidity, and here come the thunder showers with the threat or potential, not guaranteed, but the potential for heavy rainfall. Here's your allergy forecast. 11 tomorrow and 9 for the next couple of days. 66 your low tonight. Still a chance of thunder showers, and as we've seen, any one storm can produce heavy rainfall quickly. 89 high temperature for tomorrow with that chance of thunder showers again and a threat of heavy rainfall. 69 low tonight at the International Airport. It's quiet right now across the county. That can change later on this evening. And then 90 the high for tomorrow with more scattered thunder showers. Only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Friday the 4th of July, partly cloudy skies, moisture levels really go down. You'll feel much drier and hotter with a high of 98 degrees. We get a big dome of high pressure that forms quickly on Saturday. That's going to raise us to 104. 102 on Sunday with maybe some distant lightning. Very slight chance of an isolated storm on Monday with a high of 100. We stayed dry and hot. 102 Tuesday, 103 Wednesday, and 101 on Thursday. Don't go anywhere. More KTSM 9 News coming up in just a moment.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to our Small Town Spotlight series, where we're coming to you live from Jack Backstage. This is such a cool place to be. You know, Andy, we're getting ready for the 4th of July weekend. If you guys have plans for camping out, there's a few things we need to know before we do it.
Especially when it comes to campfire safety, knowing your surroundings, knowing what the rules are, that sort of thing. And we actually got a chance to speak with the Smokey Bear Historical Park on just that little bit of extra caution that you can take, how that can prevent wildfires and also save lives.
When people come out to the woods, they're going to want to call ahead to the Forest Service and find out what the fire conditions are. If you're in a developed campground, there will be campfire rings already set up for you. So make sure you build your campfire in the designated campfire ring if you're in a developed area. But if the conditions are okay to have a fire and you're out in the woods, a couple of things you really want to make sure that you keep in mind. One of them is, before you do anything else, clear all the combustible, burnable material in a 10-foot diameter circle down to the mineral soil, because we all know dirt and rocks don't burn. Then you're going to want to line your campfire ring with rocks that act kind of like a wall to keep the heat and the fire inside. And that'll be a much smaller circle, so it's a circle within a circle. And then you can gather your sticks and your logs and all the things that you want to put in your campfire, and then you light the fire. You also want to make sure you have water and a shovel or some kind of tool, so when you have to put your campfire out, when you're ready to leave or go to bed for the night, you're prepared. So what we say is you drown, stir, and drown again. So you put water on the fire, but it's not out because the coal bed can be actually fairly deep. So you want to take your shovel or a tool and stir those drowned coals around really well, and then drench it with water again and stir it again. And then the final step is to do what we call cold trailing, which is to take your hand and you don't actually touch the coals, but you hold it right over the top, because the idea is if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. So make sure your fire is dead out.
There, and I'll tell you what, absolutely love going camping. It's hard to camp sometimes without a campfire, but hey, safety is first and foremost, especially coming off a bad wildfire season.
Gosh, we've had so many this year. I know we still have a few across the Four Corners area, so anything you can to avoid it.
The flood warnings on the west side will expire at 8:30 tonight. Look at that beautiful shot. I-10 at Vinton. Cloud cover still thick. It's quiet right now. The heavy rain has subsided. You can see some water ponded in places at this point. Artcraft and I-10, especially Loop 375 right there. I think that was ground zero for the heaviest rainfall earlier tonight. We'll keep that chance of thunder showers in for a while tonight, and then we'll do it all again tomorrow. We want to extend the Weather Authority alert through our Thursday with the threat of locally heavy rainfall. 90 the high temperature, and then a complete change for the 4th of July weekend. 4th of July, 98 with maybe some distant lightning. A sunny and hot day on Saturday with a high of 104 and 102 with some distant lightning on Sunday. Okay, so Andy and Monica, wait a minute, where's the juicy burger or the brisket or the big fruity drink?
Oh, we already ate, Robert. Oh, we had to eat in between breaks, but it was so delicious. I know you did. We got hibachi. Is that what it's called?
That's what it was, yeah.
Hibachi was so
good.
delicious.
We got like 6 different food trucks here. So Jack's Backstage, if you're ever in Ruidoso, a really cool spot.
It really is. It's amazing, and I'm just glad we're back on the air. That was a little glitch right there.
Yeah, I'm not
it wasn't
exactly
your
sure
TV.
what that was.
Yeah.
Right. Where are we next week?
Next week, we're going to be back at home, but we're going to be taking a tour of the 5 magical towns in Chihuahua.
Can't wait for that. Thank you for tuning in to KTSM 9 News Small Town Spotlight. We're back with you at 10 o'clock.
Bye.